CodeRed selected.
What's good, guys? It's your boy CodeRed, and I am back with another one. So listen, man, I recently have been really into playing just retro stuff. I've just been on it. I've just been on it with retro stuff, more specifically with fighting games. Backstory, real quick history lesson. For me, Street Fighter 4 was my first fighting game that I truly learned. And learned in a sense of there's levels. There's levels. It is when that was like my first big eye opener. Now, when it comes to fighting games, I've been playing fighting games all my life. I've played all the Mortal Kombat, Capcom versus SNK, everything in that franchise. All of the Street Fighters, whatever you want to call it, Soul Calibers, everything. I have played almost every fighting game. But it was when I actually started to develop a general knowledge of fighting games. Beforehand, I wasn't necessarily a button masher, but I could do basic inputs. I can do combos. But I didn't know that there were levels. Didn't know there were levels until 4. And from 4 pushing forward, that is when I truly went on my journey to learning fighting games. So it's been fun for me to go back and look at a lot of these games that while they were a part of my childhood, in my teen years or whatever, that I played, and applying the knowledge that I know now to those games and actually learning them. It's been really fun. So Third Strike was one of those games, and for the past week I have been playing a lot of Third Strike. A lot of Third Strike, and it's been up and down. It's been frustrating at times. It's been mad fun, and it's been just great. It's really been great. Of course, starting out, I decided to play Yang. Yang just always been a dope character to me. And through my understanding and what I just generally know, Yang is, he's an upper tier character. He's one of the more honest, as people consider, of the upper tier character. But he's also an easier character to pick up and play. At least from the basic standpoint. So I was like, okay, I'll do some Yang. And of course, one of the best ways to do it, I hopped on RayCade and I just jumped into games. I just start playing people. And what I would say is that approaching Third Strike, I decided to approach it in a way that you would approach any fight game. At least for me, is that I just came in there with this idea that I was going to play this game from strictly a foundation standpoint. So not overcommitting, not putting myself in compromising situation, proper spacing, capitalizing, punishing people, different things like that. Just playing basic foundation stuff. And I gotta say, within the first 2 days or whatever, it worked. It really worked. I was getting games off of people, even people that were higher ranked people at times. And of course, later on, like if I would play sets or whatever with folks, those people would realize that, I can't just do whatever with this guy. He does have a general understanding of foundation and how it works. Eventually, they started to switch their game up and they started to play Third Strike. I started to realize at that point, okay, so this is Third Strike, all right? And that's kind of where the frustration started to kind of sink in, because I realized that I can't just play this with just simply a general knowledge of fighting games. I have to or just like general Street Fighter, I have to learn how to play Third Strike. So it took some time, did a little bit of research. I researched some Yang information, watched some tutorials, and just tried to gather information for not only him, but just the game in general. And it's quite a bit of information out there. The biggest problem that I found, or at least for me personally and how I felt, was that a lot of the information is older information. Now, I know that for the most part, a lot has not changed with Third Strike in the way that it's played. So I kind of held on to that idea that, yeah, some of this information is old, or what people may consider outdated, but understood that not necessarily, because the game has not changed so much to where the stuff that you're getting is just information that is no longer used or is considered terrible or whatever. So from that, I did learn a lot. And took a lot of that knowledge and I applied it in playing later on. And I got to say that it helped me out a lot, especially the tutorials with Yang. In the beginning, when I was playing Yang, I was depending on his dive kick a lot. And what I started to learn was that, his dive kick is not as good as his brother's, especially in this game, to where Yang is more played on the ground and focusing on his Mantis Slash. That is where his power lies. And that is where, honestly, his offense begins to open up because of the pressure of that Mantis Slash, right? It does a lot of stun. It builds a lot of the stun bar. And so focusing on that is what in general opens up your offense because you make people kind of scared to push buttons. And that's just something I had to learn over time and learning how to put that into my game, not focus so much on the dive kick, at least initially, but focus on that so that the offense could open up to where I can start dive kicking more and I can start command grabbing and things like that. And then that's how my mix started to flow. That's how, honestly, I found myself improving with Yang. Just learning how to properly play him. And then just learning a lot of the general stuff in Third Strike that I just didn't know. Like I didn't even know like a universal overhead. I didn't know. I did not know until like I started to look it up. I was like, oh, okay. And then like understanding how strong that can be, and how it also adds to the offense as far as like for your opponent waking up, like as far as like applying pressure, little things. And I will say this about the parry system. If someone tells you that you don't need to learn that in the beginning, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say that's a lie. That is a lie. At least nowadays, I think that with this game, so many people have gotten like better with this game over time to where, no, you gotta know it off top. You gotta at least understand it a little bit more and learn how to use it, because it helps to stop a lot of options, especially on wake up for your opponent. It helps you out with a lot of things. So I'm just gonna throw that in there. Parry is important. I don't care what nobody says. Parry system is very important in this game, and learning it, I feel like learning it earlier is better than later. Just saying. But just little things I learned with the game. So going in there, my later days playing the game felt a lot more comfortable. I was getting significant games off of people. I was finishing first twos with people, like actually winning. I found myself actually winning, and then I got comfortable with the game. I became more comfortable with it. One of the things that I learned in like talking to people is that with Third Strike, you get a feel. It's a feel for it. And a lot of people will just say it's just a flow. And I kind of saw what they were meaning as I was playing and I was going along. Certain things I just knew would put me in certain positions or give me proper spacing to apply pressure or get a certain kind of whiff, or I would just know, based upon how deep my jumping is, okay, I can go right into this combo, or I can apply. It's just little things that over time just come from, it's a feel. It's hard to explain, but it's a feel. But later on, in that week, a lot of stuff started to make more sense to me, and I just started flowing with it. It started feeling good, and I started to play a lot better. What I did was I went online, and it's funny how things work. I went online and I actually reached out, got on the forum and reached out and tried to figure out, hey guys, is there any information out there, up-to-date information, good tutorials, good guides or whatever for Third Strike? And I actually came across a guy who reached out to me. Shout out to Ray Stevens out in Texas, which is where I'm from. And he reached out to me and gave me some information about some guys, but he also invited me to a tournament. Crazy enough, the tournament was taking place that week. And he invited me out, gave me some information about the tournament they hold monthly for Third Strike, as well as information about weekly things that they do locally in the area. So initially, I had no plans of playing in that tournament. Zero plans of playing in that tournament. But I gotta say, Ray convinced me. He was like, hey, come on, play or whatever. And I was like, you know what? It's a good idea. Give me a chance to like learn a little bit. So yeah, I did it. Of course, I got my butt kicked, which is, hey, whatever. But the experience was great. I met a lot of people. I got to actually watch a good Yang player and get some information from him on, you know, things that he goes about doing and how he approaches games with Yang. And I just got a lot of good knowledge, and just meeting people too, and just finding out a lot about the local scene. And it was just overall a good experience. So from there, I just took a lot of that stuff and I tried to just apply it basically. But yeah, what I will say when it comes to Third Strike is, especially if you're trying to get into it, I think that this is the best time to start learning these games. I do remember Yipe spoke about this, and it was more so he was speaking about Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and he kind of basically was touching on the idea that right now, you know, it's a good time to learn because there's so much knowledge. For them, when they were playing, a lot of their knowledge came from meeting up. You know, they didn't have like all this information on the internet like that and different things like that. They had to learn from each other simply when they would meet up. They would learn new tech, or, you know, the meta would start to form based upon, you know, what they would see at these events and these different tournaments. But now there's so much knowledge out here to where even a player that's just starting out and you're seeing it can jump into these games and become a dominant presence, or become a player in which people are like, oh man, this guy, this girl really knows how to play this game, because the playing field has become a little bit more even in the knowledge that is available. It's all about you just practicing and learning is what it comes down to. It's the hard work that you put in. So I think right now is the best time to really learn these games. It's all there. All the information is there. And it's so accessible and it's so easy to meet people, you know what I'm saying, and get that information. So I think if you're trying to learn Third Strike, get on it. Get on it right now. And that's any retro fighting game or old school fighting game that you want to learn, whether it be, you know, MVC or anything. Just get on it. This is a great time. For me personally, I have had a blast playing Third Strike, and I can see why people look at this game and why it's on the Mount Rushmore. It's funny because I was talking to a buddy a couple of days ago and we were talking about it, and this is one of his favorite fighting games ever. And we were talking about, you know, just the game in general, and it's so many elements to this game that makes this game great. So many different elements to this game. And in a week time, I could see myself crazy enough saying that this is one of my favorite fighting games, just because it's a simple game, but it's so deep. It is so deep. And the information within it, like it's one of those games that you're just constantly learning. It's the soundtrack, the way that it looked. It's a feel that you get, you know, going to the tournament and you know, they had these older cabinets there, and just looking at that game and seeing the cabinets and playing on those old school cabinets, and it was a feel you would get, man. But I could see why this game is up there. I could truly see why this game is up there, and I do see why it's honestly one of the greatest. It is one of the greatest fighting games ever, if not the greatest fighting game ever. The characters, how different they play, how unique they were. It's a great game. It truly is a great game, man. But for me, I'm gonna keep on with this. I really want to learn Third Strike and just become immersed, you know, with the game and all it has to offer, man. So stick around. I think I'm gonna play it a lot more and just learn the game in general. But anyways, guys, thought I'd share that with y'all. Let me know how y'all feel. Are y'all playing some Third Strike? Have you been playing? Have you been thinking about playing? And just how you feel about it in general. Get in the comment section and let me know, guys. All right. As always, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. CodeRed, and I am out.
CodeRed selected.